Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
Well, we tried to keep that break nice and short and sweet here as we'll be diving right back into Tyloo versus Team Avengers. Of course, map 2 in this best of 3. The first round of the Asia Minor China closed qualifier. Also, round of 16 currently taking place. Through the next few days, we'll continue to dive through Asia Minor qualifier and see how it all pans out. And ultimately, select our 2 Chinese representatives for the Asia Minor. With that said, the question that we're all asking, I'm sure, is do Avengers have anything in the tank here to defend against Tyloo, or is it going to be another result, another 16-2, sort of 16-3 sort of scoreline? Fortunately, my prediction is as such, but I'll have to see what happens. A little bit of faith in this T-side after all. So far, though, fairly slow play. Looks like the T-side are basically going to group up in their entirety towards B. We're going to see the smoke, singular smoke lined up. That'll go towards market. Of course, already spotting them, so contact's been made. They're going to make their push work. So far, so good. Window with 1. Guerra with a second kill as well. Somebody just sort of staring at a wall. Quinn takes down Summer. Excavate basically left all on his Larry. Bentet taken down, looks fairly cut and dry. So far, so good. A great pistol round from Avengers. Every single shot went their way. They played it smart. Smoke didn't seem to go where it was intended to. But all in all, worked out quite well for them. They'll be able to hold on to it though. Different questioning completely. Tyloo have gone straight for the force up. Deagle, CZ in play, UMP as well. X-Ray going straight for the scout. Like somebody is able to push right through B-Apps. Get himself a kill. A gun for his troubles. Not something too valuable. I mean, it's only a Mac 10 at the end of the day, but every little helps. You see Mirage try and clear out B-Apps, but won't be checking deep into underpass, and that's the mistake, unfortunately. If he checked underpass, likely a free kill there onto somebody. So low that punishing him would be pretty simple at this point. Fortunately, instead, we are going to see the A contact play come through. It's not working out too well. The scout and CZ combination in a lot of trouble. Aurora will be able to take down Bentet, putting us in a 3-on-2 here, but that scout is just causing so many problems here for Avengers, just getting picked apart. Mescrate and CT. That equalises things 1-1, and we are already back at Avengers having to force here. They want to stay in. They're competing for the lead. Honestly, the temptation not to go for a variety of Marvel-related references is quite tough. It really is. A good opening pick, though. Mirror are able to find a simple frag in mid. They're going to group up in their entirety towards B-Apps, and really the main play to watch here is somebody see how he reacts. The push goes through. Starts to tag away, do some damage. Bensit with the Mac 10 as well begins to let rip. Not the greatest recoil in the world on that gun, but he's able to hold down nice and solid pat. Even a burst fire on towards Van, it seems. Looks like they're going to clear it up fairly comfortably. Problem here for Avengers now is they've got no money left. You have to eco this one. This has to just be Glocks, maybe a P250 or two. Looks like we're going to see those eco pistols try and just do some work in mid if possible. Little did I know though, it's actually a rifle in mid. And quite what they hoped for, I'm sure. Just walking straight to their deaths. It's over within seconds. Well, this is the important round now. Straight into the buy. They've got the 5 AKs, utility as well. It's not flawless. There's a couple of players who don't really have what they need to, but all in all, they've got some smokes to do a set piece. They've got the Molotov as well on Guero, so that will almost certainly help the later stages of a round. Let's see if they actually opt to use these smokes or anything, or just focus more on the aim duels. In the last map, really the whole game for them was more about just taking duels, individual fights. Unfortunately, that's kind of where they fell apart, to be honest. They actually had a few good individual duels. A few scenarios where they came out ahead, but they just don't really play very well together. A couple of moments where that team cohesion was really visible. Or lack thereof, should I say. Yep, Freeman is already on the roster for the minor. The one I'm not so sure about is the other edition. So that could be an interesting question to find out, I actually think. But at least in the HLTV article, it stated that Freeman had been prior to the game, so the only question would be if Dan King is on the roster or not. Also, still somewhat curious to see sort of how this whole roster shakes out, to be honest. I know, as I said, the last map, there are some fairly well-founded assumptions, I think, on what's going to happen, but just based on the surprise of this announcement even, I think that it is worth just waiting to see exactly what the Tyloo management team decide. All looks fairly cut and dry so far, though. Avengers now back on the pistols once more. Backed by Kevlar at least, so that'll help them out. And they're going to try an A play this time around, walking straight through the fire and the flames as they burst. A lot of damage being done by the MP9. We'll see a quick trade be done by 340, but the Orgs pretty much have this one in check. Nice thing is you've got Pente short, so no matter how hard they try, they're not going to get a plant. Even then, they don't get close enough to the site. Somebody all shuts them down. Very easy fifth for Tyloo now as they look for their sixth here. Avengers, of course, back on the buy at least, so potential opportunity there for them. And they have the AWP up on row as well, so we'll have to see how he decides to put that into use. Summer sat on the site and he waits so patiently, so works out for a double in the end. Quite bagged the third for the triple. Like his teammates will have him covered though, as a solid flash over the smoke. It's great, not thinking about going bench. Instead, they're just going to use the molly to force window out and shadow. It's an easy kill for them. Just dies in the flames. Smart thinking there, secures the round again comfortably. So it puts us at 6-1 here. Now already thinking about just immediately investing. Worrying too much about the utility, I think, at this point. Just looking to play with what they got. There's one thing to note though, is that Avengers have been getting a few good picks. Like case in point, when able to punish Excrete their underpass. Unfortunately, they give them back so easily as well. But their downfall is that team play coming together when they have the advantage and actually solidifying a good entry onto a site. That and just a general ability, I think, to close out rounds, but certainly would help them have a bit more of a well-rounded package if the team play was a bit more sort of cohesive, I think, to summarize it somewhat. Bentep just forcing the 4-on-2 now, leaving just Window and Guerrero left. Guerrero just doing his own thing towards B while his teammate works through connector. It's really awkward. I mean, kind of want to be with your bomb, with your teammate hand the bomb there, respectively. Instead, it's just two players playing individually, both of which unfortunately will fail. 7-1 coming through now. Tyloo charging through this matchup currently. There's little to no money again to spend. They can't even get an AK up. This has to be Pistol Kev. The benefit in the last round was you had a few players with 4K, so they could kind of squeeze it through. But it's just impossible here. It has to be the CZs and such. Put a bit of armor behind them and really hope for the best. Like somebody might actually be able to put Orp to work in a second here. Matter of time. You can see the CZ after all. It goes to the wallbang. Fortunately, the shot doesn't quite land, so his teammate steals the kill. Always feels like we're playing League of Legends for a second there. Throwing around kill steals and all that jazz. Good solid trade from Quinn actually though. Unfortunately, his teammates again just getting immediately punished for it. Connector, of course, being held by that AWP. Just a lot of freedom for X-Crate to really work around the entirety of A. Problem also they've got is the fact that Tyloo just generally have so much map control. Taking top mid is a great example of that. They are able to punish it again, forcing the 2-on-2. Still, finding a win condition is kind of tough for them. The benefit they've got is that the bomb is on the back. Player creeping on towards B right now. Somebody is pushing up through short, expecting there to be some sort of opposition there. Hoping really the sound cue of not only the bomb plot as well, but also his opponent in apps. Like he has a fairly good idea of what's coming, but spots him bench, takes him down. Still yet to hear a single sound cue from apps though, so this all has to be just a solid read from them at this point. Where it begins to peak. Hit it somewhat now. Shots just yet though. Here's the first kill, immediately mollied off, and Spirit just tries to bait him out. Gonna get straight onto the bomb, I think, and at this point it's just the done deal. Yeah, it's a little bit tough. Even sprayed with his eagle in the end. Bit of insult to injury. Looking too good here, is it, for Avengers? Again, they've had a couple of good opening duels at least, but nothing really substantial that's helped them actually get close to closing a round here. Once again, it's Summer taking down Window early on. That puts Tyloo in this 5-on-4. So much confidence on the CT side as well. I mean, look at Summer just creeping through in towards ramp, no care in the world. Approaching it still a smart way, using the smoke obviously to cover the bottom side as he can peek through onto that ledge. Still, it is very aggressive moves. 340, almost the man of the match here. Consistently punting out a kill or two around. Then his teammates just quite there with him. Another double kill on the site as well, just flicking back and forth between Palace. Got it on lock right now. All that leaves is Guerrero on short. Attacker will finish him off. See the scoreline continue to develop heavily in favour of Tyloo. 9-1 right now. Can't see another buy here from Avengers, but it's going to be scrappy. It's pretty much relying now on money they get given after rounds, thanks to loss bonus and such. Any bomb plant would be a huge help as well, but well, they just have to try and get what they can up each round. The upside here is they can afford a utility on 3 of their players. if they decide to use it though, putting that asterisk on it, because honestly I've not seen a lot of it get used. One or two smokes, sure, but there haven't really been any set pieces or anything like that. Summer in trouble. Ramp push comes through. Perfect flash though. Double kill coming in towards ramp, and Summer keeps pushing. He's going to spot the bomb, and well, unfortunately for Mirage, kind of crumbles from there. Eventually he'll be taken down by somebody anyway, but even then with the bomb being where it was, the round was already kind of done. Starting to see that B play now take shape. Somebody... That back van, I can't see a thing because the smoke is there, but we'll see a molly get thrown. That might prompt him to start to let rip here as he plays to the edge of it. Should know where Quinn is, but it doesn't matter anyway. We'll finish it off with a kill through the smoke in typical somebody fashion. I think he had a pretty good idea that someone was there. He just needed to bite the bullet and actually start shooting. Looks like we might be seeing an A execute. I was hopeful for a second as I saw a bundle of players head towards A. It looks like we are seeing some smoke lineups. Could this be a fake attempt? Yeah, it looks like it will be. CT, stairs, jungle all being lined up. But your bomb carrier and such, you got, yes, underpass being spotted, but your bomb carrier is actually sat outside of B. To be fair, Tyloo could potentially be prone to over-rotations given how confident they are and the scoreline, but... I'm not so sure if it's a repeatable strategy. If it'll even work, I guess we'll have to see. Utility and all that jazz is going to be thrown. Window and Co now will try to make the play out on towards A. We have seen a few rotations, but not quite what they expected. It's Summer to get behind them. So no matter what happens on the site itself now, Summer is there ready on the flank, and well, it looks like somebody's got it covered on his own currently at least. But hey, that might come to use. Yeah, almost certainly will. Look at him. Perfectly above both players. No idea he's there. Almost shoots his teammate. Just out of sheer surprise. I think there might be a little bit of a counter to Tyloo, the fact they didn't expect both players to be in market, but with that said, I think this is fairly easy for them to clean up now. There's one in the back. Second player spotted, and just like that, we'll see 12-1 come through. Kind of looking for any real sort of sign of hope here. Really getting a chance to see it though, unfortunately. Quinn will actually get himself a double kill on A, so that does open up a possibility. That's great. Also, I didn't even see him peek, but he gets away with it so fast. Away 340 finding. That's great. We'll give an advantage over to this T side here. If they can get a bomb plant down, that would be huge. Liking the patience though, Mirage has got himself completely behind somebody, so this should be a fairly easy pick. Nearly has a bit of a weef, but he's going to pull through. Giving it all on Bentec. Now, He's aware the ticket booth boost is going to come through. I think that was a bit of a textbook read. And he's got full util as well. I really hope he's going to be a champ and just molly Windrider for position. Could have used an 8 as well, would have guaranteed it, but hey ho, the result's the same. 12-2 for Avengers. At least going to guarantee themselves a second here, now looking for a third, but money still not all that great, even with the win. 3,400 per player to spend. Seems to work out at the end though. Tyloo should have put 1 mil, 11-1 odds, and just thrown and retired. I mean, that's an interesting 1.5. Find it strange, they signed 2 players but are using the usual lineup. Could be a number of things, from when it was signed, preparation of the match. Also, the fact is, I think, Tyloo would have a lot of confidence going into this matchup. But, just in case, why risk it, right? Depends who they've been doing the practice with and so on. I imagine they'll change in the minor, though. Just the close qualifiers, potentially. There's also probably a whole bunch of rules, potentially, regarding who can play in the close qualifiers versus the actual minor. Have to see how it all pans out. So far, the second round is good, but the third will be denied. Expert attacker both will combine for a couple of kills towards ramp. Summer will be good for another as well. Only 1 kill being found by Avengers in the end. It's a 13-2 half is locked in. It's going to be a long road forward. Really see if a comeback is possible here, unfortunately, for the boys. Could be some really interesting lower bracket matches, though. That has to be said, because there are other teams that I would say have been sort of very similar to the Avengers team as well. So the lower bracket could actually be quite dicey. Dostitos raises a good point. You can also talk to me too, so there's that as well if you have questions and such. Try to keep a bit of interaction going, especially sort of the more casual games. Let's see how this pistol pans out. Somebody, the kill stolen away from him by his teammate there. Let's see the 4v4 here as the bomb planted. Great positioning from somebody who makes their life so difficult here. If there's so much time clearing him out, I'm sorry, they're going to get the kill. They finally do pull through with it, but it's a little too late. Potentially, that's a pretty sick shot from window. Finds the frag on Summer, now just has to find attacker who, unfortunately, just annihilates him. Quick one tap with the Glock to send him over the edge. 14-2. So far, so good. Tyloo just picking them apart, it seems. Attacker will take the close rank shield as well. That's just going to further pull the advantage in their favour. Leaving just square rope. One man standing all on his own over on the B side. Not really much he can do here. 15-2 though. I imagine we are going to be able to wrap this one up here. A lot of interesting discussion going on in the chat regarding sort of communication between teams, language barriers and so on. Said, attacker rolls out, takes down one, looking for a little bit more here. Gonna see a pause get called. Rather interestingly, I imagine it's because of the auto disconnect. As one of the Avengers side has already bounced from the server. And there you have it. 16-2, map number 2. Pretty simple, 2-0 for Tyloo. No real complaints for them, I imagine. Just getting through this game with ease. At the end of the day, I think it's fair and respectful to say that they were just on a different level of competition than the Avengers lineup, unfortunately. But, as I said, I do think the lower bracket run for Avengers could actually provide some very interesting games. We'll have to see how that all pans out. With that said, folks, we'll be back with more Asia Minor action throughout the rest of today. It won't be myself taking you through it. I believe it will be Hawker. I'll have to see how that all unfolds. Until then, though, folks, it's been an absolute pleasure. See you next time.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.